Hey y'all, Instinct Survivalist coming to you again with another product review, this time of the Esee Junglas. Now the Junglas is actually fashioned after a Costa Rican machete. This monstrosity is something a little bit bigger than what I'm used to using, but I was very pleased to be part of the pass around review from Bushcraft USA. It's 16.5 inches from hilt, from the pommel to the tip. It is 10.5 if you just count the blade or the blade side, and then 22.5 ounces in weight. So it's not that heavy, makes it real easy to utilize. The handle, in my opinion, makes it real good, and it's also 3/16 inch 1095 high carbon steel. So like I said, it's a pretty freaking beast of a machete or a knife. With the sheath, it's 33 ounces, so 22.5 ounces without the sheath, and then 33 ounces with the sheath. Now the thing about this, and we'll talk about the sheath first, and then we'll actually get into the blade. The sheath is actually designed with MOLLE attachments, and those MOLLE attachments allow you to go right side up, again with a belt loop. With a belt loop, so you can attach it along the leg. You can do it upside down. And you see that thing, you heard it snap in, it's not going to go anywhere. And so you can see I've got several attachment points as well, again with the MOLLE and snaps attachments as well. So keeping in mind that I'm sitting here shaking it and I have not snapped the retaining strap. So very cool, right? So there's that for the sheath, and you can't just let it slide out. It really has to pop out to get going. Now there's a lot of things that we can do with a knife of this size and what it's expected to do, especially in a survival situation. One of the things it's expected to do is chop, right? So do we go ahead and do that? We'll get to that in a minute, but let's talk about the overall piece and how it fits and everything like this. Because of the way the blade is sorry folks, because of the way the handle is curved, it fits nice and smoothly in my hand. Now I've got giant hands, pretty large hands, but it fits very nicely with no hot spots, with the exception of the pieces that hold on the scales. Okay, so those bolts, if you will, those pins, whatever you're gonna call them, and guys, hey, keep in mind, I do reviews of everything. If I don't get a name right, please excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't need the blast. But the pieces that hold the scales on, that's what we'll call them, that can rub against my middle finger, which means that I'll be walking around with my middle finger out, right? However, the other side of it is you do have a lanyard hole, and this end of it, the pommel, if you will, is 3/16 inch thick as well, and which means that I can go in and I can hammer something in without a problem. Now I beat the crap out of it earlier. I've done a bunch of tests around the yard. We're going to do a couple of small things to show you, but again, one of the things that we expect this to do is to chop. Now I've actually cleared a couple branches earlier, and it's gone pretty well. All right, now comes the question of do we get the 1/4 inch branch out of the way? I would say so. Right, now keep in mind that had a lot of give to it, and it's still one swoop done. So in my opinion, I would call that successful as far as a machete type item goes. Now some of y'all might say, why did you get the tree? I needed to cut it back anyway. Okay, it's my tree. So it's got a nice smooth cut, no jagged edges as far as the rough edges, if you will, but we know it does this. So with one whack, I was able to cut that. Let's look at some of the fine things that it's done. Now, if I had my rathers, if I had if this was me designing my knife, I like this, and we'll come to that in the conclusion, but there's something I would add to this. So we'll get into that in the conclusion as well. All right, so let's stay tuned. I'm gonna get to a camera readjusted over to the table, and we're gonna look at some of the fine things that we've done with it that we would do around camp. If I only had to have one knife, is this knife sufficient? Would it work? That's the questions of the day, right? All right, so stay tuned. We'll get readjusted and we'll go from there. All right, folks, so I've already worked with this because I needed to do some testing up front. I want to make sure that I'm giving you the facts, so I have to do the testing up front. will it go in and make a tent stake? Yes. Okay, so you can see I've got most of that done. I can go ahead, I want to cut into that, but I can go ahead and do it this way. I can do it however I need to, right? So I can make my tent stake or a stake for snaring, trapping, whatever, basically for survival. Will it do a Lincoln log cut? Yes. Will it do a pot hanger cut? Yes. Now the other question, and you can see one here, I've actually done some feather sticks. So you can see it'll do it, but the question always comes down to, well, yeah, Bill, sure, right, let's do it on camera. So I'm just sliding it down. It's got a flat grind to it. That's not the thing I would change, by the way. So you can see it's making some pretty decent feather sticks. Is it the best? Is it something that will do better? Maybe, maybe not. Your knife may vary. Your function may vary as well, and I'm sure with a lot more practice in this I'd be able to do a lot thinner, a lot better, but you can see that I have gone in and put in some nice thin ones. You see some nice curls there, so I'm able to do that. The other part comes down to is the point. Will this point do what I need it to do? Will it give me you know, the ability to go in and poke a hole or punch a hole or drill into something if I needed to? And the answer is abso-freaking-lutely. I'm just going in and punching some hole there. Now, why would I do that? You know, the question comes down to is why would you put a hole in something? Well, if I need to put if I'm making a trap, if I need to put in a hole for a lanyard or something of that nature, there's a whole lot of reasons to do this other than just, oh, I'm punching a hole in something. Okay, so you could be putting pieces together, you could do some lashings and need that. It could be part of a bird trap, a jibble bird trap if you had to put a hole in one, which does require a hole. So that would be the answer of yes. Now, here's the thing I did earlier, and I thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to use this stick as my example, but the other question came down to is great. You did you could do a 1/2 inch stick. How hard is it to get a bigger stick? I'm gonna bring it out here so I don't hit the sheath or my leg. So pretty daggum quick, was able to chop into it. Now, yes, did it cut? No, not all the way. It cut part of it, and you can see that, but then the rest of it broke. So it cut part and then broke the rest because it had the weight behind it. Again, that 22.5 ounces. If I had to change something from this blade, if it were me and I was the knife maker or whatever, the only thing I would add will be a choil here. Okay, I like to choke up a little bit more. I know that when I'm doing the feather sticks, it gives me the ability to go in and get a little closer, so I can get a little bit finer and things of that nature, which could be beneficial. From here, I just feel like I feel a little clumsier. Okay, now I know that's not that big of a difference in the size, but it does make me feel a little clumsier when I'm doing that. That's not to say I'm not clumsy as it is. That's to say that that's the way it makes me feel, or makes it feel in my hand. So that's kind of it. I've got one more test we're going to do real quick, and then we'll do some concluding thoughts. Okay, so rather than listening to folks fuss at me because I'm chopping down trees even though I need to clear some of them, I wanted to give you an example. This is about 1.5 inches, just shy of 2 inches, if you will, in diameter. Now, what I want to do with this, because this becomes part of what's the functionality of this knife, I'm going to clear that off. And what I want to do with this is, can I chop this down if it were a full-size tree, if it were an 1.5 inch tree or something therein, okay? And the reality is, yeah, I could do that in a heartbeat. Do I have to have an axe? No. I don't like cutting the other angle with my hand that way. There's that. Now that wood is not quite green, but it's not quite dead either. So just to kind of give you what's the style of the wood itself. All right, so let's talk about some closing thoughts real quick. Yeah, thank you. Let's talk about some closing thoughts real quick. Again, it's lightweight in my opinion. When you look at the overall size of everything together, maybe it becomes heavy. I like the fact that the grip is it's a rough texture, not a smooth texture, which means that you can see where I was sweating, and I'm sure there's sweat from everybody else that was using it too. It's really humid out here today, and so it makes it a little difficult to breathe. I'm glad that the clouds came over. I like the fact that the handle is actually textured, so it does not slip out of my hand as easy. I like the fact that you've got the stops on the front and the back, so again, my hand does not slip out easy. I like the size of that because again, with a big hand, I can go, depending upon what grip I want to use, I can do that, whether it's fine work, whether it's chopping and using the weight against it, or if I need to go in and go downward, such as to spike something, such as to go in and do the drill that we did a while ago. So that's kind of some pieces on that. Again, the one thing that I would change, if it were me being a knife maker, I would actually add a choil here. I'm sure there's a reason that they didn't. However, that's my one thing, right? My one thing would be the choil for that, just for some fine work and getting in a little closer. That just seems like a big gap for me. All right, overall, would I call this a success? Yes, I think so. So that being the case, hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the subscriptions. Thanks for all the tweets, the retweets, everything else. Continue watching. We've got 2 more reviews, as you heard in the earlier video this week. Last week, whenever it was, the one where I was cooking burgers and everybody got me and said I was hungry. We got some other reviews coming. I've got the Sun oven, which is by Sunflare, and then I've got the Great Home Hammock that we'll get done as well. I've also got some 2-Tip Tuesdays coming. This week's going to be kind of a special one. I've had to do a lot of research on it, but it was one of those. It's kind of a challenge from somebody else, so I want to make sure that I did it justice in order to make sure that we got all the details of that. One last thing. Details of that. All right, so one last thing, guys. I know some of y'all have you have questionable mentalities, meaning that you question a lot of different things. What I want to do is I just want to show you how I did the Lincoln log and the pot hanger. What I did is I actually took, and I wanted to use this stick because just so that you get the consistency of it. I was able to take and just kind of whack down on it. I could have used a stick and batoned with it as well, not a problem. And then the reason that I wanted to show you all that is just to show you how easy. You know, I never like going into the, oh, well, just take my word for it. So I can go into this. Bye-bye. Thank you. Go into that. And you can see I'm just using both thumbs together. The reason being is because that gives me a little bit deeper cut, also a finer cut. Take those out and then do the same to the other side. So I'm able to go in and do this with no issues. All the batoning did was make a stop cut so that I wouldn't go beyond that. And you can see I'm already making Lincoln logs. So, all right, folks. Again, I just didn't want y'all to have to take my word for it. Let you see the facts and then make a decision on your own. Now, will you buy this or not? I don't know. I'll put the cost in and link. You can see it. It's actually available on KnifeWorks. Again, it's from Esee, E-S-E-E. It is the Junglas, J-U-N-G-L-A-S. So, all right, y'all. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for likes, subscribes, tweets, retweets, etc., etc. So until next time, use your instincts to survive, and thanks for watching. All right, so let's go through some closing thoughts. I like the overall size of it. Do I need an axe? Not necessarily. I already said that. The other thing is will this replace my smaller knife, smaller detail knife? No, but in a pinch I can see where it could, based off of the little work that we did. I like the fact that the handle, the scales, if you will, are textured, and you can see where it won't slip out of my hand. You can see some of the sweat from today, as well as I'm sure from other individuals as well. I like the stop at the bottom and the top, or the bottom, top and bottom, however you want to look at it, because it fits my hand very nicely without having to worry about it slipping all the way out. So I do like that. I like the fact that it is heavy, but not too heavy, right? The 22.5 ounces. I like the fact that it's that way. I love the fact it's made in the USA. And then the other side of that is the tip. I'm a fan of that tip. I like the shape of the blade. I like the shape of the tip because it provides a lot of functionality for different things that I do out in the woods. So would I give this a passing grade? Absolutely. Can you buy it? Absolutely. You can't buy this one because it belongs to Bushcraft USA. But it's Junglas. You can see it upside down there, Esee. And hey guys, thanks for all you do. Thanks for your tweets, your subscribes, your likes. Hey, don't forget to give me some thumbs up. If you like the video, give a thumbs up, and the reason being is because that then increases it to every other social media. They like watching or like seeing other videos that have a lot of likes. So if I go in and see 2 videos on the same content and both of them have likes, but only, one's only got 5 likes and one's got 50 likes or 5,000 likes, I'm going to look at the one that's 5,000 likes because apparently that's going to be a better video. Again, thanks for everything, the subscriptions and all that. So passing grade for this, yes. And then I'm sure that there are others that have made a passing grade on it as well. It's a good knife. It's really good. Will I go buy one? It's definitely in the cards now. So after holding it and working on it. So thanks again. Until next time, use your instincts to survive. Thanks for watching.